Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I'm George Strombolopoulos. Okay, here we are at Pearson International Airport, just outside of Toronto. This is actually the first time I'm going to get on a plane where I'm almost as tall as the bloody thing is. But here's the situation. Ozzfest is on the road, and Sabbath and Ozzy don't want to play that many days a week, so when there's some days off, the other bands on the bill actually like to play special side shows in smaller towns. It's called Ozzfest, and headlining a special Ozzfest in Moline, Illinois, is Slipknot. Now, 1999, Slipknot put out their debut album, and this caught the whole world by surprise. What you had was 9 guys in terrifying masks, including serial killer lookalikes, some crazy predator lookalikes, and the ultimate fright fest, a clown. So straight ahead, brutal, violent music. And they've got a new record. It is called Iowa, named after their home state. This album is even more aggressive, even more violent, even more dark, even more brutal. This is Slipknot's return to the violent stage. All right, how rock and roll is this? We get to jump off our own private plane into Daddy's own stretch limo. Okay, so here we are, arriving at our hotel. Here's what's going to happen in the next little while. We're going to hear the brand new Slipknot album, Iowa. Only 10 copies of this album exist in the world. We've managed to get our hands on one of them. Pretty much nobody's heard this record. We get to, though. This is so exciting that, of course, later on, we talk to Slipknot, and the best part, we see the band live.
All right, come on inside here. This is our sneak preview listen to the new Slipknot album. It's named after their home state of Iowa. This right now is track 6. It's called Heretic. Has a wonderful chorus in it. You know what it is? If you're 555, then I'm 666. All right, so 6 songs into this record, man. This is heavy. This is way heavier and way more brutal than their last one.
Right there's Jerry from Papa Roach hanging around. Stick around after the break. A conversation with the guys from Papa Roach, and then later it's Slipknot. Okay, as we continue to waltz around back here at the show, we got Jacoby from Papa Roach. You want to go by the river, man? Get out of this here. Eat some outside.
That's our dressing room right there. What? Are we going the wrong way?
Wrong way? Where we go? We're waltzing backstage here at the mark of the quad, trying to find a way out to get by the Mississippi River. Oh, we're going to go this way now. Go ahead. Are American landmarks a big deal to you?
I guess like the Mississippi's a pretty damn like significant landmark in the United States, so look.
So there it is. Go back 18 months ago, when this was really starting to blow up, and you probably had to sit back and go, oh my God, what's happening here today? And now 18 months later, you have other records in your head? Like, do you have a better plan for what you want to do?
Well, I think this record is definitely not going to be I'm content with the world record, because I still am not. That's the whole thing about like my outlook on life and stuff is like when you become content, then you become one of them. My thing is I'm striving to do what I love, and that's speak about my discontent with myself and with the world. And there is a lot of beauty here, in this world, but then there's a lot of ugly things, you know what I'm saying? And it sucks that I have to focus on a lot of the ugly things, but that's just natural for me, The one thing I am content with is my personal life with my lady, and I think that's, and my family, and that's, and my love for music, and then everything else is kind of like me against the world, and it's a good thing because it makes me feel alive, because if I just become content with everything, I'm gonna be like, boo, I'm gonna be like a potato on a couch. Right now is like something's going on, it's like if you look at it, it's not just it's music, but then it's also like a culture.
One of the cool things about metal is that you've got a whole bunch of people who will show up and be part of a group, but if you look at them, unlike a lot of other genres of music, there's a lot of individuality.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's the thing is like when we look in the crowd at our shows, like you see the diversity of crowds, whether it be race or whether it be what kind of style kid you are, if you're a punk kid or if you're, a metalhead, or if you're even older, if you're 35 years old or if you're 14 and, your parents brought you to the show, it's kind of like, there is a diversity, but then music is the thing that brings the people together,
Important to have a generation gap between the young kids and their parents?
Well, yeah, I definitely think so, you know, 'cause it's all natural for kids to be rebellious against their folks, you know, that's like part of growing up. But it's cool to see, like, you know, we're doing Ozzfest, you know, like today's Ozzfest, but we're doing Ozzfest, you see, like, parents and their kids at the show. That's like shows you that Black Sabbath was back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And now there's like a new generation of bands, you know, Slipknot, Papa Roach, you know, Disturbed, Linkin Park, you know, Taproot, Nonpoint, you know, Hatebreed also.
Any pressure on you guys now?
Hell yeah. Like, we sold a boatload of records, and like, we don't want to just fall off the face of the earth, you know, by second record. We want to keep it going, you know. I mean, if we don't sell, you know, as many records next record, well, oh no, you know, that's life. But we definitely want to have that strong touring fan base, you know, and that's why we're still on the road right now.